everyone. Welcome to another edition of Job Board Secrets on YouTube. I'm Chris Russell, the world's foremost job board consultant. If you're looking to start, grow, or save your job board, check out my services at jobboardsecrets.com. All right, Nelson Ryan is the new owner of software provider Jobboardly. He acquired the company last month, and I wanted to have him on and see what he has in store for the product. So, Nelson, welcome to the job board world, man.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Good to have you. He's joining us from Australia. And in case you didn't guess the accent there, what's new down there, Nelson? How's the economy down there and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's still going. I think it's a little quieter these days, but yeah, no, still chugging along.
Yep. And how's Seek doing? I know they're the big job board in Australia there, right?
Yeah, no, still very dominant. Although I feel like I'm seeing a lot more LinkedIn now, so I think they're starting to sort of eat into their share. But yeah, in Australia here, Seek's still very dominant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a few clients. Construction Jobs Australia is one. Do you see a lot of niche boards popping up there in the country?
Yeah, no, we're definitely seeing more and more of those. And even on Jobboardly as well. But yeah, no, definitely some like in specific regions as well. I think in a lot of like regional Australia, we've seen a few of those kind of niches, but then also industry specific. And then in Australia, there's a lot of these kind of like niches within the mining industry, which I think is kind of an interesting area. Um, yeah, but yeah, no, I think it's always evolving, right?
Yep, totally. Okay. So yeah, let's get into the interview here. Tell us a bit more about who you are, what your background is a bit, and give us some context there.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I'm Nelson, so based here in Australia. Yeah, I've spent most of my career working remote for companies out of the UK, across Europe and the US. Um, yeah, sort of started my career in more traditional finance. Did that for a little while, found it interesting, learned a lot, but ultimately was always sort of drawn to the tech space. Through that, ended up sort of getting involved in startups, doing sort of a range of different things. And then, yeah, joined a firm out of the UK, jumped into the crypto space, spent some time there, sort of working with startups like a venture studio. Through that process, ended up getting the chance to work with, to join a few other teams. So one out of the US and Florida, and then another both sort of startups in the crypto space. So one out of New York and then another out of Florida. And then through that process, ended up getting the chance to join a venture firm out of London. So I was there for a number of years, and then yeah, more recently ended up deciding to make a bit of a change. Was looking to acquire a SaaS business, and yeah, made the decision to acquire Jobboardly after getting to know Chris and Kyle. Sorry, Kyle and Jason. Yeah.
Yeah, former owners there. Um, Now, do you have a staff now? Is this a one man company at this point, or?
Yes, we do. So there's three of us at the moment. So yeah, obviously with the we're kind of towards the end of the handover now. But I think for the most part, most this month, it's been mostly the new team. And yeah, we're settling in well. We did we retained one person and then brought on another person. And yeah, so far it's been going really well.
Excellent. Okay. What well, tell me more about how you acquired the business. How did that go down?
Yeah, so I found the business on acquire.com. Was pretty set that I wanted to buy a SaaS business, and looked at a number of businesses. I was given some of my background, like I've done a lot of work with startups, sort of in the open source space with like very like community focused go to market strategies, and yeah, going through a number of different like markets and different projects. Was really drawn to Jobboardly, partly I think because the community they've built. I'm sort of a big believer that I think like for startups today, it's like one of the most sort of powerful go-to-market functions you can have is sort of to build a community and then ship products for that community. And so yeah, I was really excited about the product, spent a lot of time using the product, getting to understand the market really well, but very much was sort of coming from outside the job board market. And then yeah, I think a big part of the opportunity I saw here was just really look, I think it costs like $30 to start a Shopify e-commerce store today. In many cases, it costs like $250 to start a job board, like per month, I mean.
Hmm.
Um, And so I think there's a huge opportunity to like actually focus more on the long tail, bring down the sort of barriers to entry to getting into this market. And yeah, that's what I saw with Jobboardly. I thought they had a great product, a great community, and it was something that could really be sort of built on.
Excellent. Yeah, it was about 20 different roughly software vendors in the space here, and I'm glad to see you are coming in with some fresh eyes here. So I do think that I think overall, I think the job board software market it's been led by a few vendors in terms of just iteration who are doing new stuff and constantly iterating the product. So that'd be my first piece of advice for you is to keep the new features coming, and also look at also other ways to revenue generation for the board itself. Like there are things that they're not doing today, a lot of them, in my opinion, that they should be doing as far as helping the job board owners make money as well. So we can talk about that later. But um, how many sites does Jobboardly currently power? Do you have a sense of how big the ecosystem is there?
Yeah, so I can tell you. So like today we power about 1158 boards.
Wow.
So a decent amount. Yeah, and sort of growing every day. I think definitely like, we are probably one of like the lower cost providers. So
Yeah.
there's a big sort of draw there. And I think one of the sort of benefits to that is I do think that Jobboardly is sort of a great home for people that maybe they're sort of uh, maybe they're not a corporate, they're just an individual looking to make a start on a job board, or maybe there's someone that's just sort of exploring the space, looking to sort of understand if it's something they want to focus on. And I think for those kind of folks, like Jobboardly is a great place to sort of explore that. I think we're probably most known for our kind of like lifetime plan. I think a lot of the community really loves that idea of being able to put down sort of one cost and then sort of have be able to run their business without that sort of ongoing expense, which I think is a sort of key part of the draw there.
Yeah, I tell all new job owners, like, you got to prove a market exists and needs to exist for your whatever niche you're going after. So, spend as little as possible on a product that can get you out the door and do what you need to do for that first year and find out whether or not, it's worth it. So it's a good way of doing it. All right. So what are you working on initially? I know you just announced a couple new features, I think, on LinkedIn there, but tell me what you're working on and what you've already launched.
Yeah, sure. So to be honest, right now we're very focused on. So with the acquisition, I kind of put out the vision of where we're going, and put out a big call to the community for feedback. The community is sort of very active. We've got a massive sort of Facebook group and a lot of people on the email list. So we've been curating a lot of feedback. At the moment, we're sort of focused on sort of fixing some outstanding bugs, as well as just improvements that can be made to the platform. We want to make sure that we sort of get everything that we have right before we go sort of shipping too many features. But yeah, we've been working through that list. If you're in the community, you're probably seeing the emails and the notifications I've been putting out. But yeah, there are also a few sort of big features that we're sort of focused on shipping pretty quickly. One that I think is really important and is sort of a gap for us at the moment is like a CV uploader. So that's the ability for employees to come and register for a job board and upload their CVs. This can sort of like enable a lot more functionality, and I think even like caters more to sort of like more reverse job boards and that kind of thing. And then also we really want to get a corporate portal out. So this would enable employers to come in, create a profile, and manage all their listings in one place. So really just about sort of like extending a lot of the existing functionality we have. And when we sort of think about like, yeah, I guess out to the more like medium term, um, we're trying to spend some time thinking about how these sort of like broader shifts in the market, like particularly with AI, is impacting this space. I think AI for job boards can be for providers like us can be a threat, but I also think it can be a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
Obviously tools like Cursor or Lovable can sort of be competitors to job board providers, but I also think given like we're focused on a singular mission, we're really sort of excited about can we embrace some of these tools to improve the design experience, improve the reduce the time it takes for someone to get to that sort of aha moment or to get up and running. I think that's one thing, obviously we're a no code solution, but I think there's a lot we could do in terms of helping people kind of in the same way that Shopify, for example, enables you can kind of describe a design and get something up and running.
Mhm.
Maybe it's not like your final design, but it's something that can kind of help you get a sense of what you want it to feel like. Um, so yeah, we're really interested in features like that that can just improve the experience of sort of getting up and getting started.
Yeah. Yeah, I used it a couple years ago. I put a client on it, and my one piece of advice in there would be the CMS was a bit wonky in terms of just creating blog posts and getting them out there, things like that. So that definitely needs some improvement there. But you mentioned reverse job boards before, which is something I've been harping on the vendors to create more of. Like at the very least, like let us showcase like feature resumes on the homepage, things like that. Let's bubble up that content, that job seeker content database, and make that, you know, that allows the seekers to, pay for a featured resume, things like that. And you can build up a resume. If you can build up a nice resume database like that, that's more attractive to employers as well. That's a piece of the puzzle here. And I think a lot of the existing vendors are missing out on that. So I'm glad you mentioned that reverse job board thing. So cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also just think yeah, we want to lean into that sort of thing. I think there's sort of like forces in the market that we can lean into, but I'm also like really excited about the idea of yeah, how can we sort of like arm communities or even like creators that already have a unique community or a unique distribution, and enable them to sort of make it easy to start a job board and maybe even to sort of continue to foster and sort of nurture that community.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the other part of community, right? Like I like to see more community-based features, like maybe an activity feed or ability to message each other, things like that would be really interesting. I always
yeah,
like to,
absolutely.
I have a community on Job Board Secrets, which is powered by Mighty Networks. If you could combine like the Mighty Networks piece with a job board piece, like, to me, that's the holy grail of a job board software today. So
Absolutely. And look, also like we're excited in sort of supporting we see a bunch of job boards on Jobboardly that are using different business models. Maybe you're not just monetizing through the job board,
yeah,
maybe the
Kyle
job
had
board
his
itself.
paid service there for the get outdoor jobs, which is really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Or even maybe it's a value add to an outside, subscription, or maybe, I come from the VC space. A lot of VCs have job boards. It's more of just a value add.
Yep,
So we're even sort of interested in, yeah, just giving the community more tools to be creative in how they want to differentiate themselves and monetize.
definitely. Is the pricing still the same? Just break down the basic price points for the audience.
Yeah, sure. So it's really sort of mostly still the same. So basically we introduced an annual plan early in the year. So it's 199. And then we also have the lifetime plan that's 395. Um, we are considering also rolling out like a monthly plan. I think a lot of the community loves the lifetime plan, and we're going to keep that. But we've also had community members that would love the flexibility of a sort of monthly plan. Most services have that.
Yep.
So that's probably also something that we'll add as well.
Awesome. Well, Nelson Ryan from Job Worthy, appreciate your time today. What's one thing you've learned in the first few weeks here of running the business that surprised you?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I would say I've been really impressed with how much the community just embraced me. I think that was really cool to see. I was expecting probably more pushback and skepticism, but yeah, I mean, I think they were really excited to sort of see the energy I was sort of putting out and the vision. But yeah, I mean, look, I obviously sort of come from outside the market, so there's been a lot of sort of learning about the job board market and understanding where things are going. And yeah, I think it was just really interesting to sort of see how fragmented the space is, but I think it's only going to accelerate. And so yeah, I'm that was like interesting, and even just to hear how like maybe different some of these sort of submarkets are, like tech, for example, an area that I know really well, how different some of the dynamics are there to some of the niches that we sort of serve, whether it's like safety safety jobs, or like these sort of like quite distinct niches that have their own characteristics. So I've been learning about that sort of thing, which I've been finding really interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting time, and I think it's also a good time for niche job boards to take advantage of the missteps of the Indeeds and ZipRecruiters of the world, and so I think there's opportunity out there if you do it correctly. So, but anyway, appreciate your time today, Nelson. Jobboardly.com, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, there you go, audience. We'll keep us up to date, Nelson, and we'll be watching.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for your time.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.